All right, welcome back to another video from the Clark and Addison Gaming Company. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator here at Clark and Addison. And in this video, I am happy to announce the release of Play Action Football Express. Now, we've been talking about it for a long time, been playing some test games, and been sort of walking. If you've been a part of this channel for a while, you've seen how we've been walking through the process of creating this game. And it is finally here. So you can go to clarkandaddisongaming.com, clarkandaddisongaming.com, and purchase this. Just below the main banner on the homepage is a little banner about Play Action Football Express. Just click on that button, and that'll take you to the two Express seasons that are available. Now, I wanted to put seasons out that if you purchase the FAC decks, the Express game, that you wouldn't feel like you were buying the game twice if you had already been a long-time Play Action Football user. So there are two seasons that you cannot get at this point. You can't get those seasons for the full season game. So the first one is going to be 1976, which you see here. It's the 1976 NFL. You can see the teams here. This is what they look like whenever they're printed off, so you can see all the teams on here. And the other season is 1983. So the classic season. Why 76 and 83, you say? Well, the collaborator with this game was Jason Graham of the Jason Flash Football channel on YouTube. And he plays tabletop football games, not exclusively, but a lot. And he plays a lot of boxing and some other things as well. But he has been a catalyst in creating this game. So he was the one that created the first decks, and he was creating the FACs just for himself to use. Then he started getting questions from his viewers. If you are not a subscriber, go over to at Jason Flash Football on YouTube and become a subscriber. So he's way more interesting to listen to than me whenever he's calling a football game, much more into it, and a delight to sit and watch him play not only my games but other games. So he created these FACs to speed up gameplay because he said he liked the game so much he wanted to play more of it. So it wasn't like the game is broken. He was just looking for a way to get in more and still keep the feel of the game. So he created the fast action cards for himself, just handwritten on a piece of paper, played several games. He was getting questions about it, and so he passed them on to me and said, hey, people seem interested in this if you want to add this to Play Action Football. And so I said, well, I'll think about it. And then I started getting questions because our audiences cross over just a little bit. He was obviously promoting the game. And they were coming over to my channel, and I was getting questions about whether we are going to do the fast action cards or not. And so I started looking at it, started putting things together and working with Jason. And over the last 3 weeks, we have come up with a full set that matches not only the look and feel of Play Action Football, but also the feel of the game. So now we have 3 decks that are available. So when you purchase this FAC Express game, you're going to get a run heavy, balanced, and pass heavy, just like we have the play calling sheets in the game. You'll get those 3 decks of cards, and there's no real differences between the amount of yards off the cards. The difference is really in the number of passing plays. So pass heavy obviously has a lot of passing plays. So just like the real game, if you choose pass heavy, you're not necessarily like going to throw up a million points, but the opportunities are there to match the quality of your team. You can see here, every team has a passing and rushing number. And so if you want to try to match these, so the Baltimore Colts, 39% passing, 61% rushing, they would need the rushing deck, the rush heavy deck or run heavy deck in order to sort of match the way that they would play in real life. But the Falcons are 51 to 49 passing to rushing, and they would want to use the balanced deck, which is a little closer to 50-50. The Buffalo Bills would want to do the pass heavy. So 58% to 42%, that is the actual percentage on the pass heavy deck. So anything from here and above, you would definitely want to use the pass-heavy deck if you want to be realistic to the way that those teams play. Now, the game is using these newer small cards, but there's no reason you can't use the normal larger cards that we have. We have 4 of those cards to a sheet, and so they take up a little bit more space. They have all the players on them. They have all this data on the cards themselves, so there's no need to go out and purchase the express seasons just to get these cards. Okay, so I'm adding these cards to the seasons that are already published. I've sent an email out to you, so if you've already published or already bought, let's say 2024, you are not going to have to wait for a 2024 express season in order to get these cards. So you'll be able to, there's a link in your email. You just follow the download link, and then the file will be in there. It says something like Play Action Football Express, and then it'll have your year. So you just go to your downloads and download that file, and you'll have these small cards to use. So if you purchase one of these FAC decks, and you'll only need to purchase one because the decks are the same. So whether you purchase 83 or 76, they're not contextualized to those seasons. They're not contextualized to the 1980s. They're contextualized to professional football over the last 50 years. So I took averages. Average rush is about 4 yards per carry, and the average yards per catch is somewhere around 10. And so we took those averages and put those into the 3 decks. So that's basically what you're going to come out with. There's randomness to the shuffling and stuff like that, but over the long haul, that's what you should come out with. And what separates the teams is kind of the luck of the draw. I mean, the NFL is super tight, and most teams, there's not much difference even between the best and the worst teams. But definitely the teams in the middle are very bunched together. So you'll be able to purchase the FAC decks. You can purchase one or both. It doesn't matter. But if you purchase both of them, you're going to get the same decks of FAC cards. So just know that the difference between the 2 express game purchases is the season that comes with them, not the cards themselves. Okay, so once you buy it once, you have the FACs for all time, and those are going to be your generalized football cards with run heavy, balanced, and pass heavy. And then you'll be able to use those FACs with any version of play action football. So anything that you purchased in the past, these FAC decks will work with. These smaller cards are going to work with any version of play action football because you have all the same data. You just don't have the players on these cards. That's really the difference. In fact, I've got a couple of videos on here where I'm playing the full game using these smaller cards. The Express game is the Express game comes with the FAC charts. So along with the cards, you're going to need this chart in order to play the game. So it has a few extra things over here, but this is your main kicking, punting, interception, fumble returns. We have our breakaways here. So if you have a breakaway, you'll flip on a 1 to 12 number, or you can roll an actual D12 if you want to have dice. Then you can flip a random number card, and then you'll just cross-reference that with the breakaway column. We have post-play penalties. This is a little glossary, tells you a few things about what you need to do. And then this part down here was a late addition, but you can choose based off of different yardages and how far away you are from a first down or a touchdown. You can use different things like a nickel, a blitz, a 4-6 defense. And then if you do those defensive formations, these are the modifiers. So if you're using the run heavy deck against a 4-3 defense, which that would be someone's base defense. So if they have a 4-3, let's see. The 83 Bears, they have a 4-3 base defense. So the base is what you're looking at here. So if you want to use these defensive modifiers, there's a 4-3 defense against the run-heavy offense. Every time there's going to be -1 yard. If it's against the balance, there's 0, and if a 4-3 against the pass-heavy, they're going to give up an extra yard on every single play that the defense gets, which is about 50-50 offense to defense. But the cards themselves, they have offense or defense. So, but you can see here lots of different types of, these are in addition to any sort of offense or defense that comes off of the team cards themselves. So anything here. So if the card that you flip says defense, you would be looking at Cincinnati, and their defense is -3. So any yardage you get is going to be that yardage -3. And then if you're playing the defensive modifiers, it'd be -3, -1, or -3, -1, or -3 +1. So that's the charts. You're also going to get this is the basic sheet, but we also have the advanced drive-by-drive sheet. But you can see here, this is for the drive-by-drive game. This is just another way, another mode that you can play the game. So instead of using the fast action cards, you can use 2d10 dice and play off of this drive-by-drive game. Both games are going to use, they're made to use 16 drives per game. And so you basically just alternate and then follow on the basic one, you just kind of follow along. This is more for like sitting back and watching the game. The advanced chart is more about you being involved in the game. And I'll show you that chart in just a minute. You're going to get the drive-by-drive module game guide. This is the drive-by-drive module here. So you'll get the basic and you'll get the advanced. And then that comes with a game guide to kind of walk you through those things. You're also going to get the Play Action Football Express game guide. So there's a game guide just generally for using the FACs. And so that'll be good to have. And then finally, there is a fictional teams and career module. And so this mod allows you to create teams from nothing. In fact, I was looking on the Facebook page, and one of our members on the Facebook page, he's already created a fictional league. I created a fictional league as well. You can see that in the past 2 or 3 videos, the West Coast Football League. And you can see how I've rolled up a team. You can see how I play through. I've used both the drive-by-drive game and the simulator. So if you are familiar with Play Action Football, you'll know that it comes with a simulator, a game simulator. Basically, you're getting highlight plays, so something between a score generator and a highlight plays kind of game. So you'll get that. You can roll that by hand for each team. It will be a little bit more difficult with the fictional teams because you don't necessarily have you would have to keep track of field goals and touchdowns the first year. And then if you do that, you'll have sort of field goals per drive and that kind of thing. So you could figure those things out if you needed to. But when you're playing with the NFL seasons, I've already given you the number of field goals per drive, like per 100, and the number of touchdowns per 100. So that's all figured out for you. You just look on the chart and roll the dice. There's also an automated one that's online, and all you do is put in the, let's say, the visiting team's offense and defense number and the home team's offense and defense number. Click simulate game, and then it goes through the process and simulates the game, gives you a real score output. And if there's overtime, there's a way to resolve overtime. So that's based off of 12 possessions, and that's just a little mini app that you can get. And that's included in the original game guide. So I got dinged by YouTube for putting those GitHub links in the description. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I guess they don't like that. So you'll get all of these things. And let me also show you the cards and the advanced drive-by-drive. All right, so here is the advanced drive-by-drive sheet. So you can see here quite a bit longer, but there's more options in here. So 4th and 2 to go, choose quarterback sneak or play action pass. So depending on what you choose, so if you choose the quarterback sneak, you're going to roll against this line. If you choose the pass, you're going to roll against this line. You can see what the options are and what the risks are. So if you throw the pass, there's a 50% chance of an interception. If you do the quarterback sneak, there's a 20% chance, well, I guess a 30% chance of a turnover on downs. So do you want to try to keep the play going, or do you want to take a chance at, if you hit on the pass, it's a 40% chance of it's a 60% chance of an interception, but it's a 40% chance of a long touchdown pass. So maybe that's what you need for your drive, or you just need to get back in the game or whatever. There are injuries and penalties and some extra special things over here. I've played plenty of games. If you look up the Minnesota Vikings replay using the drive-by-drive, you'll see how that works. This is the charts for the fictional team creation and career module. So again, if you look in the past few videos with the West Coast Football League, you saw how I created it, and you see the off season. So you'll roll against this chart, and basically there's a career mode built in. So you can take these teams and you can make them go from year to year. So this is our first year of the West Coast Football League. You can see their final records. I made a note of if they changed. So this team went from a 0 on offense, -2 defense, to 0 and -3 for their second year. And then you'll also receive this page of blanks so that you can go through and you can write in your own. So this is year 1 of the league, and then this is year 2 with all of our new values in there. So basically, you're just going to cut these cards out. That's all I did here with these, and you just cut them out, and then you'll have season after season that you can replay. So that's kind of a fun one there, as far as being able to generate and create new teams. And so that chart will come with the game as well. And then finally, the decks themselves are going to look like this. So there's a file in there that's called the card backs file. That's what I use here. So basically, my printer at home doesn't allow me to do cardstock, which is what I'm using here. It doesn't allow me to do two-sided printing on cardstock. So I have to print one side, flip it, and then print the other side. So basically what I do is I print one side with the values for the fast action cards, and then I have to flip it over, and then I use the card backs to then print the other side. So you just got to kind of know how your printer works and whether it needs to, things need to be upside down or however they need to go in so that they print well. But you should have 64 cards, and so they come 9 to a sheet. So that's going to be 7 sheets plus 1 on an extra sheet. So if you want to print that one, you can. If you don't want to print that extra 64th card, it's probably not a huge deal. But I printed all 64, and it came out well. So these are the cards themselves. This is the pass-heavy deck, and the reason I know it's the pass-heavy deck is because the text is in red. So red for pass-heavy. Every play is going to look to the offense or the defense, and that just determines which card we're looking at. So let's say New England was on offense and Miami is on defense. If we draw a defense card like this, then we're looking to their defense. So their defensive modifier is a 0, and we have a run for 2 yards. And so when we take this 2, we add it to whatever the modifier is. And for the defense here, it's a 0. If it was set offense, so that's the next card. This card says offense, run of 2. So it's 2 yards. We're looking to the offensive card, and then we add 1. So 2 plus 1, that equals a 3-yard gain for New England. So depending on what this is, and that's going to go about 50% of the time. The run-pass ratio is going to be based off of, so the running or the passing. Here's a pass play here. So whether it's a run or a pass, that's going to be determined by the deck. So this deck here is 58% pass, 42% rushing. There's an extra sack in there, so that's why the percentages aren't 60-40. And then on the rushing heavy offense, it is 60% run, 40% pass. And on the balance deck, it's 50-50 run and pass. So you can make everyone do that. I think that's what Jason likes to do. He likes to take the just level everybody out. Everybody gets the balanced deck regardless. I don't know if he's going to change that style up now that there's multiple decks, but that was how he originally created the game. So we have our passing deck. You know that that's the passing deck because it's red. We have the running deck, so the rushing deck. So run heavy offense is blue. And hopefully you can see that it's blue. It's easier to tell in person. And then the last deck is the balance deck, and the balance deck is going to be black. So I think you can tell the difference there, that those are two different colors. So hopefully you can see that. So black is going to be the balance deck, blue is the rushing or run heavy, and red is the pass heavy deck. And so you're going to get all these. 64 cards. I printed both sides back and forth. It takes a little bit of time when you initially do it. You could round the corners and do it all the way. But basically, because I printed these on good semi-heavy cardstock, I can actually I can riffle shuffle them just like you would shuffle a set of cards. But you can feel free to shuffle these however you want to. If you have a card shuffler, you could use that, which I do. I have one of those I bought it when I was making No Huddle Football. And so, sorry. So you're going to get all of this with the Express game. So you get the drive-by-drive chart, you get all three decks. And then you'll choose, do you want to get the 1976 season cards? This is just representative. You get every team, so all 28 teams from that season. Or do you want to get the 1983 season? Same thing. This is only representative. You get every single team for that season. So you'll get all of these small cards that you can cut out. You can print these also on cardstock and have a nice version of them. I tend to just cut those team cards out onto pieces of paper. So this is not the same cardstock as this. But this is 1985. So if you've already purchased the 1985 season, the big set, you can follow the download link in the email that I sent you last night, and you can download these files. If you didn't get that email, and this is the first time you're hearing of it, you can go back to your original email. There should be a download link to your files for the 1985 season set. And if you follow that back, you'll see the file that I just attached it into the repository there, and you should be able to just download it. If you're out of downloads, just send me an email to clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com, and I'll reset your downloads. So I think that's it. We finally got to the end. There's a lot going on here. There might be more coming with the fictional game, but I'll let everyone know what's coming with that. And again, if you've purchased this and I add anything to the fictional season set, just like I just told you with the adding the cards to the 85 season set, if I add anything to that, I'll send out an email to everyone who's made a purchase for that season. I'll let you know. What would change would be a way to create individual fictional players. So then you could begin to keep stats and have a full game. We'll see if that works out or if that needs to just kind of be spun up into its own full game. We'll see. So we have this fictional league. We have the NFL. Again, these decks are compatible with any version of Play Action Football that you've already purchased. There's no need to go out and repurchase some different set of the 1985 season set. These cards will work with the larger cards beautifully. I've showed that already on the YouTube channel, so you can see that as well. And you can even use the random numbers here at the bottom to help you with the player finder. So if you want to do that, in the game that I was playing, that's what I did, is I used this random number and looked on there to do the 1 through 10 player finder. So I just kind of did my version of that. You could roll 1d10 die and then do the player finder like you normally do. But this is intended to be a no dice version. So if you do not want to use dice, you can play this as a no dice version. So maybe if you're just need to play quietly, or you just don't prefer, or it's easier to flip cards than it is to roll dice, then maybe this version is for you. It will speed up your gameplay and get your games down to about 30 to 40 minutes. One of the appealing things to me with this game is it helps me to achieve one of the things I've wanted to do. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do is, and kind of a question I've had, why can't a football game be as fast as like an APA basic or a Stratomatic basic game where you can play in 30 or 40 minutes? Well, this game allows you to do that. And so you're playing 8 possessions per half. So that's 4 possessions per half per team. And then based off of those drives, that is your score. So the decks are really made with that intention in mind. If you want to play using the typical play action football timing with 30 seconds, 15 seconds, I played that too. You might come out with a little hotter scores than you normally would. But then I've also played games where it was a slugfest. And, there's turnovers and things like that. So the game does play play-by-play like that. It also plays play-by-play with the 16 possessions. That's just sort of the sweet spot of where this game is going to be. If you play with 18 or 20 possessions, you're probably going to get into a more modern NFL style at that point. I was looking at the 2020, was it 2024? There weren't a lot of like really good offenses. No, it was 2023. One of the last couple of years, there weren't a lot of good offenses in the NFL. There were a lot of really, like -1 defenses and above, or below. But there weren't a lot of even +1 offenses, and definitely not very many +2s and 3s. So there just weren't a lot of great offensive years in the last couple of years, but defense seems to be getting a little bit better. And it's a little bit more balanced maybe as you get into the older seasons. But it's just kind of when you're dealing with like big, large data sets and you're kind of looking at the data sets all together, you start to see some trends as you kind of look down the rows. But that's one of the trends that I was seeing. Don't know why I was saying that, but this is going to allow you to play those games pretty quickly. So if you only have 45 minutes, you can get a game in if you have the teams already just kind of set up. If you're only using one deck, it goes even faster because you only have to shuffle one deck. And if you get long extended drives, the game will be a little bit longer. If you get a lot of turnovers or a lot of 3 and outs and that kind of thing, the game is going to be faster, just kind of like a regular football game. But the gameplay is true. I've got all kinds of variability in scoring. It's based off of the teams. And so everything looks really good, really ready to go. Try it out for yourself. The key piece of information that everybody wants to know, how much does it cost? It's $10 for each of the FAC sets. So whether it's 83 or 76, both of those are $10. You're going to get all of the FAC cards and all the stuff that I just went over, including the fictional set. So you are basically getting an entire season that you can replay with the FAC cards, plus the drive-by-drive. Plus, if you already know about the simulator, you can use the simulator. And then you're going to get the fictional. So you can create as many teams as you want in your fictional league. I started with 6. I already have a storyline in my head that I could take it storyline is that America just went through a civil war, and so there's Eastern and Western United States. And in order to build morale and get things back to normal, the West Coast states have created the West Coast Football League. And so the Football League is getting underway. They'll be moving into season number 2. The East Coast, there are people in the East Coast who have had pirated radio and television, and they've been getting the West Coast Football League games. And so there is some consensus building in the East to create the East Coast Football League or the Eastern Football League. And after a number of years, as both of these teams expand more toward the middle, so at first you're going to have some like very East Coast. Now we have some very West Coast teams, but eventually you're going to have, let's say, Omaha and I don't know who would be the easterly team. The dividing line is going to be the Mississippi River. So I'm not sure what. I'm trying to think about what would be an easterly team. Let's say Memphis. So Memphis is right on the river. Omaha would be kind of an extreme, or maybe Kansas. We'll just expand all the way to Kansas City. So you got these two teams who are pretty close together, and then maybe St. Louis. St. Louis would be a better one. So St. Louis and Memphis. So one expands all the way to the very eastern edge. One expands all the way to the very western edge, and those teams are playing each other. And now these two leagues are getting so close to one another that they are going to be a part of the healing of the nation. We'll say that. So a little bit like the WWF. I've already planned out like the next 20 years. Don't know if I'll ever do that, but it was fun to think about how could football bring a divided America back together. So then they would form a unified league, and then, America would ride off into the sunset as one unified country again because of pro football. So that was the story that I made up in my head while I was just kind of thinking about, what could be the storylines and the story arcs for that. Because somewhere in there, even when they're divided in two different leagues, they would start playing a championship game against each other, and then, they would help to solidify and bring the country together. But anyway, that's the fictional set. You can make anything you want. You could do it for different countries. You could do it as a global league. Whatever you want to do. Just create the narrative that's in your head, and then create teams for it. And it's super easy to run a season, and then do the off season. It doesn't take very much. Everything is self-explanatory. In fact, it comes with its own guide to show you how to do each of those things. So I'm going to end that here. Go out and purchase it. I'll put the links in the description to the places, or to the place where you can go and purchase this. Follow that link. You'll see the ability to purchase the 83 or the 76 or both. Somebody's already purchased both. So if you want to have both of these seasons, you can. These are seasons that are not created as full sets, at least not yet. So this is the only way you're going to be able to get 83 and 76. So go out and get those. And if you get them, you're going to have, if you just purchase one of them, you'll have all of this available to you to play with the full sets. And then you can go and purchase the other full sets. As a special thank you, whenever you purchase one of these FAC decks, the Express game, not one of the decks, but when you purchase the Express game, either 83 or 76, both are the same, you'll get 20% off of any of the other seasons. So if you're not quite into play action football yet, or there are seasons that you wanted to get, this is a good time. So take advantage of that 20% off. And so you'll get 20% off any of the seasons. So for each season you buy, you'll get 20% off that season. Every season is $20. So 20% off that is $5 off of that. There's no shipping and handling. This is not a printable, like I print it and send it to your product. All of my games are PDF except for On Base Baseball Pocket Edition, which you have to buy at the Game Crafter. But everything that you purchase on my website is going to be print and play. So you're going to have to print everything yourself, cut the cards. It took me, I don't know, maybe a half hour or something like that to print out all the cards. 64 times 3. And then if you wanted to cut out any of these blanks, as you go along, you can do that. And then you have to print out or cut out the the cards for the season. So just depending on how quickly you go, I only have a one at a time, like it's a little small cutter. You've seen it on the channel before. If you had a larger cutter with a big handle, you could probably cut out more than I can do all at the same time. So maybe your cutting time is cut by 2/3 or something. Or if you have the printer do it, obviously they're going to do it for you and saves you that time. All right. If you have any questions or comments about this game, leave them down in the comments section. Hopefully you're excited. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this announcement, so the time is now. It's Saturday, October 1st, as I make this recording. It's not October anymore. It's November. Got to get that changed. So I have my calendar here. It's November 1st. So if you observe, happy All Saints Day to you. And if you don't, happy November 1st. And it's football season squarely now. Let's get into playing some football. I'd love to see this on people's channels. Any questions that you have, leave them in the comment section here. You can also email me at clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. clarkandaddisongaming@gmail.com. Again, you can pick this up at clarkandaddisongaming.com. And right on the homepage near the top, you're going to see Play Action Football Express. Click on that green link and go right to the place where you can purchase. Again, you're going to get an option to take 20% off any other Play Action Football seasons, the full seasons. And with those full seasons, you're going to get the small cards like this. And so it'll go sweetly with all this, the FAC deck, just like you're going to get the 83 and 80 or 76 seasons. So this is what the actual 85 cards look like when they're cut out. And then you're going to get the fictional game as well. So let's get out there, tell everybody that you know about this game, and more importantly, go play it yourself. So enjoy Play Action Football in a very fast format, and hopefully that lets you get more games in, still get the look and feel of Play Action Football, and maybe if you want to switch up how you play. So some games get the fast action deck, some games get the drive-by-drive, some games get the game simulator, some games get the full treatment. You know, you can just mix and match however you want to with this game, and that's the beauty of the system, is that these cards work with any part of the game. The full game set works with any of these smaller cards. So this smaller deck right here, you won't have the contextualized game engine chart, the single chart. It won't be contextualized for 1983, but I think if you use 1985, you're probably going to be in the ballpark. Same thing with 1976. If you have 1978 and you use that game engine chart, you're going to be in the ballpark. But these are really meant to be played here, but you can definitely use these with the 78 or the 83 or 85 game engine charts, or 84 if you have 84 and you want to play 83. Football is not that much different between those two different years. So you have something that's in the ballpark that you could use, and definitely would be okay to do that. And I don't think you're going to have any skewed results or anything. So any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, click on subscribe. We're up to almost 475 subscribers at this point. So click on that subscribe button and you'll be notified of new videos whenever they're posted. Typically 1 or 2 a week is what I average, but here lately, when it's a creative moment like this, it can be a lot more. This kind of depends on what life is throwing at me at the moment. And if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up. That's a super easy way to support what I'm doing here, other than going to clarkandaddisongaming.com and buying one of these fast action seasons, the express seasons. If you want to join the Facebook group, you can join the Facebook group. That's under Facebook groups. Just look up Clark and Addison Gaming Company and join in with the other, almost 300 members of that group that was where the game news broke first about this. And you're going to get the first crack at all the new things I'm working on, anything that I've been sharing as far as seasons that I'm playing or replays I'm doing. There are other gamers who are sharing things. So like Max's Cards and Dice Dugout, he's doing an up-tempo basketball replay of the 74-75 ABA season, Dr. J and the Nets. And he posts there, whenever he's got new content. So if you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, that's another way that you can sort of get notified whenever he's posting. And there are others who are playing different games, and they'll post their results there as well. So just basically join in the community. It's a great place to ask questions about all things Clark and Addison gaming, whether it's about me or about the games or about a specific game. You can ask your questions away there. You can get to know a lot more about the games that I'm working on. There's polls, there's questions, things that I'm answering. So really, it's just more of a community place where you can go and join into the community of gamers who are either interested or actively participating in playing Clark and Addison games. And we have several now. It's almost 10, somewhere around 10 titles that we have published. And so that is a place where you can get connected as well. YouTube here is another good place. Just click on subscribe and you'll be part of what happens in the comments and what happens on the videos. All right, I'll leave it there. We are at 40 minutes, and so hopefully you got a really good look at what you're going to get. And so this is what you see is what you're going to get. And I've showed you everything aside from the actual text in the game guides. If you're familiar with my game guides, you know what they look like and that they're pretty detailed, and they walk you through all the different aspects of the game. They're full color. They have pictures and things that you can reference, diagrams and charts and things like that. So the team creation is a part of the game guide, and so is the defensive modifiers. There's a little section on using the defensive modifiers. That's at the end of the game guide. So before you go out and print the separate game guide for the team creation, the fictional, check the big game guide for the Express, right? And if you print that whole thing out, you probably printed out some of that. I just printed it out. I made a separate file just in case you want to only print that. So really look all the way to the end of the Express game guide and see if those things at the end are things you want to print out. It's kind of an appendix or, final matters kind of thing. And you can print those things out or not. Doesn't matter to me. If you just want the game guide itself, then that kind of stops before you get to the end of the file. So just look through that before you do it. All right. Go out and get it. Play some games. Spread the word on Play Action Football. I appreciate everybody's help, especially Jason Graham of the Jason Flash Football channel. Go there and give him a subscribe, even if you don't care about his stuff, just because he did so much legwork at the beginning of creating the FAC data and the original deck. This deck here is his original deck, the Run Heavy, and he had created that for the 1970s. So we just wanted that with a Run Heavy because it was already a 60-40 deck. And then he created some of the outlines for how to do different things. The team creation is all his, from his mind and the way that he does things with his own Patriot Football League. And so it's really a melding and a coming together of two designers to create a different way to play the same game, which is pretty cool. And it spawned a couple of other different things, and including the fictional universes. So go out and support him in his channel. He's not in anything for any money or anything like that, but he loves tabletop football. And at the very least, you'll have some very entertaining tabletop football gaming going on your YouTube subscriptions. All right. I think that's it from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.